Good afternoon, and welcome back to my channel. He was supposed to be the prosecution's ace, an eyewitness whose testimony could seal the fate of 5 accused men. But when Absalom Zungu finally spoke, it wasn't to confirm the state's case. It was to dismantle it. In a stunning twist, Zungu accused the lead investigator of coercion, bribery, and fabrication. The courtroom fell silent. The judge leaned in. And just like that, the foundation of the Senzo Meyiwa trial began to crack. This is not just a reversal. It's a reckoning. What happens when the state's own witness turns whistleblower? And what does it mean for justice in one of South Africa's most high-profile murder cases? The broader impact of Absalom. Zungu's potential. Testimony on the Senzo Meyiwa trial. In July 25, Absalom Zungu, an elderly Newcastle resident previously labeled a key state witness, filed an explosive affidavit distancing himself from any role in the arrest and prosecution of the accused in the 2014 murder of former Bafana Captain Senzo Meyiwa. His recantation not only shocks public perception, but also raises profound questions about the integrity, admissibility, and direction of this high-profile trial. This report examines the potential legal, strategic, and societal repercussions of Zungu's affidavit. 1. Legal credibility of Absalom Zungu. Absalom Zungu's late emergence as a disavowing a key witness seriously undermines his credibility. His initial identification by SAPS Brigadier Bongani Jininda as crucial to the state's case was never corroborated by a formal statement or sworn affidavit until his recantation. Such contradictions suggest Zungu's testimony may be unreliable, coerced or fabricated, challenging courts to assess whether he was an interested, biased participant rather than an impartial informant. 2. Content and implications of Zungu's affidavit. In his July 2025 affidavit, Zungu asserts he never gave Jininda any information implicating Muzi Sibia and Bongani, and Tanzi, and describes repeated coercion and bribe attempts by Jininda to secure testimony. He details late-night calls and threats from SAPS members, painting a picture of police misconduct and evidence tampering. If believed, his affidavit could vitiate the foundational basis for the state's charges against key accused. 3. Impact on evidence admissibility. Zungu's recantation directly affects the admissibility of any hearsay or derivative evidence tied to his statements. Under Section 3(1)(c) of the Law of Evidence Amendment Act, courts may admit hearsay only if the interest of justice demand it. But if Zungu's statements were made under duress or fabricated, the court must now reconsider their probative value and potential to prejudice a fair trial. Judges face a stark choice: uphold or exclude tainted state evidence. 4. Influence on prosecution strategy. The National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, will need to recalibrate its case plan immediately. State witnesses may have to be recalled, fresh subpoenas issued, and new avenues of investigation pursued. Prosecutors can no longer lean on Zungu's affidavit or Jininda's prior testimony about Zungu's role. Strategic resources must shift toward bolstering forensic cell phone and identification evidence and finding alternate corroboration. Failure to adjust could risk another withdrawal of charges or acquittal. 5. Influence on defense strategy. The defense gains a potent new lever to argue pre-trial. Dismissal under Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act, asserting the state lacks real evidence after losing its purported key witness. Advocates may push for further postponements to delve into the affidavits and potential police misconduct. They can seek to impeach other state witnesses, challenge chain of custody, and highlight investigative lapses. All tactics to generate reasonable doubt. 6. Media coverage and public perception. Media outlets immediately amplified Zungu's affidavit, framing it as an explosive scandal within SAPS and NPA ranks. Coverage ranged from suspicion of a cover-up to outright condemnation of police. Credibility. Sensational headlines and social media shareability have fueled public outcry, placing political pressure on trial participants. The narrative risks overshadowing sober legal analysis and could color jury or judicial attitudes, even in bench trials. 7. Social media sentiment analysis. Social platforms have trended accusations that police and prosecutors fabricated Zungu's original statements, with widespread calls to throw out the case and call Kelly Kumalo to testify. Misinformation dangers abound. Online commentary often jumps to conclusions about racial bias or institutional corruption. Such sentiment may erode confidence in court integrity and can influence broader debates about witness protection and fairness. 8. Allegations of SAP's misconduct and witness intimidation. Zungu'S affidavit accuses Brigadier Janinda of cooking evidence, coercion, and harassment, claims that mirror other high-profile SAP's misconduct allegations in the trial, such as claims that crime scenes were mismanaged and witnessed. Intimidation was commonplace. Any version holds. It could establish a pattern of institutional wrongdoing, compelling criminal investigations into perverting the course of justice under Section 70 of the Rome Statute or local laws. 9. Witness intimidation and safety protocols. The affidavit also highlights the chilling fear. Zungu experiences refusal to meet, in open veldt, threats on his life, late-night phone calls, and disappearance of his son Sikumbuzo Zungu from the fold. This underscores the pressing need for stringent witness protection. Protocols by SAPS and the Office for Witness Protection, ROWP, to shield reluctant or recanting witnesses and to safeguard their physical and psychological well-being. 10. Trial timeline and procedural delays. The trial, already postponed multiple times, first under Judge Momela's suspension, then restarting in mid-2023 under Judge Rafa, now faces further delay as defense prepares a Section 174 application and the state retools its case plan. Extended timelines risk witness memories fading, evidence degrading, and public frustration increasing, raising questions about a reasonable delay under Section 35(3). D of the Constitution. 11. Political and societal implications. The Meyiwa case has become deeply politicized, with calls for swift justice by sports fans, civil society, and politicians alike. Zungu'S affidavit injects a politically charged controversy into the trial and risks manipulations by rival political factions, particularly when legal watchdog groups accuse the MPA of being dismantled for political ends. The saga will resonate nationally about rule of law and police legitimacy. 12. Historical precedents of recanted witnesses in South Africa. South African courts have long grappled with recanted statements. In SV Klassen and another, the SCA held that contradictory hearsay statements warrant careful assessment of credibility and probative value, but do not automatically exclude the evidence if there is compelling corroboration. In SV Cupido 2024, the SCA cautioned that a recanted statement of a hostile witness can be admitted if interests of justice demand, provided reliability is sufficiently guaranteed. 13. International legal perspective on witness recantation. International tribunals allow recanted testimony under strict safeguards. The ICC's Model Witness Protection Manual stresses protecting witnesses, safety and psychological support to mitigate coercion. Section 3(c) of the LEA parallels the ICC's climate of reliability-focused exceptions for hearsay. When a witness recants due to external threats, provided due process protections are in place. 14. Role of key legal figures. Judge Rata has faced criticism for trial delays, raising concerns about administrative competence during a multi-year hearing hiatus. Under Judge Momela's suspension for late judgments, Advocate Malesa Letefo, famously dismissed from the role for unethical conduct, initially represented 4 accused and challenged SAP's forensic procedures on court, spotlighting chain of custody disputes with Mosia's testimony. Brigadier Bongani Janinda, whose investigative methods are now accused of fabrication by Zungu, played a central role in the early case development and remains under scrutiny for homebrew interrogation tactics. 15. Forensic evidence integrity and expert testimony. Thabo Mosia's procedural errors, arriving hours late, photographing only exhibits pointed out by Ndlovu, and overlooking key points of entry have been sharply criticized by the defense and the court for selective. Crime scene processing. Recent cross-examination has revealed gaps in forensic methods and chain of custody that weaken the state's physical evidence and may amplify the impact of Zungu'S affidavit on the trial's overall integrity. Absalom Zungu'S dramatic recantation is far more than a footnote to the Senzo Meyiwa trial. It is a critical juncture that threatens to unravel years of state preparation, ignite fresh defense challenges, and deepen public distrust in SAPS and the MPA, while court rules on hearsay may allow Zungu'S statements to remain admissible. The combined blow to witness credibility, forensic integrity, and trial momentum will reverberate through the final verdict. In this charged and ongoing saga, justice, swift, transparent, and reliable remains the ultimate measure of impact. If you find these informative, smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Sky Breeds checking out, and I'll catch you on my next episode. Bye.